Hello everyone, welcome to the next video. So today we'll be focusing more on statistics. Yeah, hopefully at least we'll move to another chapter. So what is statistics? One can ask him or herself, or statistics actually again. Most of people have which about statistics. Statistics is basically the handling or the processing of data into a more understandable information. So we are actually taking the data and then we put it in a way, which is statistics or maths, or so this is basically what we will be doing in this video. So learning how to draw the scatter plots. We have been doing this from the previous grade, but then just for revision purposes, I'm just going to demonstrate how one can draw or how one can draw a scatter plot. So big information about these are the scores of a student. So these are the results that test, maybe test over 1 year. So this table consists of the scores, but specifically for mathematics, and then this one here for accounting. So actually with scatter plot, we are trying to find, or we are trying to learn or study, or what a relationship remote excel in accounting, what a relationship or what an obvious excel in account. So we want to study that type of relationship. If you're going to study 70 or to study distinction in maths, like account to study distinction. If you're going to or failure or master fasika maths, like accounting loan. So this is the relationship that we're actually trying to study. So then we shall now on between Montana maths. So this is what we will be doing. I'm just going to plot this data into this table. The starter plot. So these are the names of the students. Jonathan, he scored 72% in math. So yeah, it's quite impressive. And then in accounting, he scored 73%. So, and then Edward scored 50% in maths. And then 55% in accounting. Then John, 8% in math. And then accounting, 20%. Then Ag, who is 65% come math. And then accounting, who 17. Then Reg, okay, who 31% in math. Then accounting, who 31. So the scatter plot that I'm going to draw here, I'm just going to use this information to draw the scatter plot. So this row or this axis, why it represents the accounting scores, and then this one is for math results. So I'm just going to take this data and put it here. So actually, Jonathan, he scored 72% in math, so it means somewhere here, 72% in math. And then in accounting, he scored 73%. So while plotting this thing, I'm going to move from here. It's 72 and 73. So these things, they're going to meet up somewhere here. So I'm going to put a dot here, like this. Then I move to the next student, Edward. Okay, Ufumane will get 50% in math. And then 55% accounting. So 50% come math. Then accounting, Ufumane will get 55. So somewhere here. So I'm going to move. So then I move to the next student, John. This one got 8% in math and then 81% in accounting. So 80% in math, 81% in accounting. So this is basically how we draw the scatter plot. So Agri got 65% in mathematics, and then in accounting he got 70%. So 65 in math, 70 in accounting. So we just do the same thing. When they meet, we put a dot. So red, then Kumana will get 31% come maths, and then Kumana will get 31% again accounting. So the 20% is somewhere here, somewhere here. So I'm just going to put a dot for here. So the dot you can see there is some relationship. Actually, these dots they form something we call line of best fit. I'm going to explain on what does line of best fit actually mean. So we can form they are decreasing. you see even the slope is positive because you can see they facing upwards. So this line we call it line of best fit. You can simply just draw it without even knowing the formula, but then by just using your information that you just got from this table. But then this formula is not going to be as accurate as it could come with accurate formula. So I'm still going to teach you how to calculate the formula for line of best fit. So this line, it describes the relationship between two variables that we are comparing. So here we are comparing the result of accounting and also the result of mathematics. So this line, it describes the relationship between the results of accounting and the results of math. So here on the board, I'm just going to actually demonstrate how do we calculate the line of best fit. As I've already mentioned, the line of best fit describes the relationship between two variables. Yeah, so this is the formula for straight line. I'm sure you are more familiar with this formula. It's a straight line formula. So this one is going to be this B is going to be the gradient. Then this A, remember again, y-intercept. So I'm just going to show you how are we going to calculate this formula using this data that we have here. So in exams, they are going to ask you to calculate something like this. Then all they just give you is this data. So information. So these are the steps that you're going to follow how calculate this formula. So the first thing that you must do on your calculator, these steps calculate Casio. I'm not sure if you all have this model, but then I use them. These steps are only, I'm not sure if they're only applicable for this model, but then calculate Casio. So the first step, you press mode on your calculator. So mode is this button. I press mode, and then second step, it's you press number 2. You press number 2, and then after pressing number 2, you press 2 again, and then it's going to show something like a table that has got two variables, x and y, and then on x and y, on x, remember we're going back to the graph. What are your x-axis data? X-axis, remember, math scores. So tape lemma to me x-axis. We know the scores. We know how did we know 72. 72. We'll be able to call me the x value 72. A press an equal sign, and then 150 equal 80 equal 65 equal 31 equal. Then officially check a column the math score, and then we got column we to the y-axis. Remember y-axis it contains the accounting scores, so we don't focus on this column. Then you enter the data. I'm atomic 73 away to 55, then 81, 70, 31, then 31, and then after plugging in all the data into this table, let's continue with the steps. Then the second step, you press AC on your calculator. AC is this button, AC. You don't press anything, you press this button only after inserting the data. Then you press this button, AC. Then it's going to display something like 0 here at the corner. And then after pressing AC, you press Shift. Shift is this button at the corner here, at the top left corner. So you press Shift. And then after pressing Shift, you select up number 5. It's Shift, and then you press Shift, then you press 1. After pressing Shift, you press number 1, this button. It's Shift, and then you press 1. You see? It's going to display some of the things. It's going to give you options, and then when now you're going to focus on number 5, option number 5 here in what in drag. I'm not sure if it's right, regression or what, but whether it's right. Then oppressor, option number 5. Option number 5 is reg. Then it's number 5. So you can see what enter. First option enter A sheet, A, and then second option again, B. So if you can just press first option A, then you press 1. Then interchange A, then you press equal sign. This is the value of A. So how is A? Y is equals to A. 1,9, but then a rounding of 1,93. And then we are left with what? B. So take a B. Then we press AC again. Press a button because you do cancel data or fellow tomorrow. You press AC again, and then you press Shift. Where was tomorrow press Shift. One button, this button 1. And then you don't have button optional regression. You press it again. Then since Matumo holds the value of A, right now we don't need the value of B. We will press option number 2. So the value of B will get 1,0078. So it's going to be this plus how much is the value of B? 1,0078. So yeah, let me just write it here so it can be visible. 1,0078. Remember this x. So this thing is actually the formula. This formula, okay, line nearly one. How can you use a formula? You are going to get the most accurate line for this line of best fit. I think sometimes they call it regression line or something like that. But then that formula, get this line, and then we analyze it. Does it make sense? I told you on the previous videos, in everything that you're doing in math, you must use your intuitive and it make a sense now. So I will more formula. This formula is formula straight line. So let me just write it here neatly. It's going to be what? Then let me just, it's 1,0078x plus 1,93. Most of you can push that and try it when one so the formula just straight line. So the formula straight line. So how they analyze the reinterpret the check on it make a sense the line retrailing before formula. They must remember this the white intercept. This graph it's solid the white intercept at 1,93. Keep positive how do we go line retrailing? How can we line out? Okay, level okay, shalom house. Ilo feta ilo kata y intercept. Oh no, okay, level ilo kata y intercept move. When on trade, it's evident enough to say what y intercept ilo kata 1,9 something. But this line in terms of me correspond with the y axis. In terms of me reaching and then hurry you can sharp when that correspond everything is sharp. Then back to the formula that you just calculated. This thing, this I've mentioned before, this value is the gradient again, the slope of the graph. So if gradient, we can see what is positive again. So the gradient is positive, that's our graph it was so. But then highly negative, that's all graph it was so. So back to the formula. This gradient is positive, so we expect something yellow it over increasing. Back to the graph that we just plotted here. How can I graph either it's an increasing graph, increasing. So now, to be honest, I can say that formula matches this thing. So when you must be able to calculate that formula using this data, then these are the steps that you must follow so that you can be able to find your line of best fits. Sometimes they call it regression, but the most important thing here, you have to be able to calculate the value of A and also the value of B. And then once you are done, you must write this thing in standard form. So, and one more last thing, you must be able to interpret what these things actually mean. This is the intercept, y-intercept, this is the gradient. And after, if you take a graphic, Sanjo when you shake graphic, this catapult our protein. How can I go graphic it really before it calculates the formula? So the whole one can tweet or element who got line of best fit. Some even 12 it over so like one or two. Santo overly picture that formula get calculator or overly picture beforehand or formula get calculator. Santo and positively sloped and it cut y-axis. Point on the positive value. I guess I'm not okay, but then Sunday it cut on the positive value. And here are the results that we just got after calculating the line of base fit. So I'm just going to go into much detail about all these things and how to calculate the correlation coefficient in the next video. I hope this whole thing makes sense and how, if you can just write these steps, that they're going to help you more, especially when you're writing exams or tests. So if you can just understand these steps and follow them correctly, and remember, when following these steps, we never press this button. This button we never press it because it's going to cancel the data that you just plugged into your calculator. We just work with AC. So I just hope everything makes sense and you understood what I was just talking about here. I'll see you in the next video when we will be dealing with correlation coefficients. Thank you.